Okay, welcome to today's lesson. This is going to be a lesson on variables, how to create variables, how to do public and private variables and what the difference is. And we're also going to learn a command called setActive and another one called destroy. And I'm going to show you the difference between the two so that we can actually get some interaction going with objects. So this will build on all the previous sessions. I hope you managed the challenge in the last one, but we're going to get on with this one. So we're going to create a new C# script as always, and I'm going to call this one activate objects. You'll see why, and we'll get this one open. Okay, so do note the class from before was exactly what I called it, and we have our standard start and update functions. The curly brackets for the class have all the functions inside of it. So what we're going to look at now is variables. Now, in the very first video, I think I told you that variables are like envelopes for keeping things in, envelopes or boxes. So if you imagine they are empty things that we can put stuff in, all that we have to do is that we have to tell it what type of thing we're going to put in it. We can't put anything in it because it needs to create the correct sort of box. So, you know, if you were sending a card, you wouldn't have a massive box to put it in, and the same thing if you were posting a motorbike, you wouldn't put it in an envelope. It's kind of like that. Beautiful analogy, I know. So, I'm going to show you now how to write variables. We're going to start off with a very, very simple one, which we'll then use to move on to our destroy and setActive. So we don't write variables generally inside functions unless we only want to use them inside that function. If we want to use them across multiple functions within this class, we write them at the top under where the class is declared. So we will write variables here. Okay. Don't know why I've got a line. So we'll write the variables here. Sorry. So when you're writing a variable, we either want the words public or private. Now the difference between the two is a private variable doesn't appear in the inspector and has to be set in the code. It also can't be accessed from other scripts. So it's just for that script. So I'll show you the difference, but we'll do public first. So a public variable, and then next what you do is you have to type the type of variable that you want. Over all these sessions we're going to be looking at many types, but we're going to start with something basic, the kind of thing that the entire thing is based on, which is game object. Now, there's two ways of writing game object. This is the one we want with the capital G because we're declaring it as a variable, and then we just give it a name. So in this case, I'm just going to call it box, and we finish it off like all sort of command lines with a semicolon. If you're in MonoDevelop, it should go lovely colours to tell you that you've written it properly. So I'm going to save that, and I'm going to come back to my script holder. Let's remove that. And attach activate object. Now there you go. As you can see in the inspector now, it's got this variable called box and a gap where we can drag in a game object. Now if I change this from public to private and save that, when it updates, what you'll notice is this is not available. There we go, it's disappeared. This is not available in the inspector and has to be set in the code. Now for what we want, we are going to make it public so that we can then attach this orange box. So all I'm going to do is take the orange box, drag it in and attach it. So now when we script, it will know which game object we're going to be changing or moving or doing whatever we want with. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at a command. So the command would be, for example, we've got setActive. Now what this does is it turns an object on or off. Okay. Now, set active, at the moment, that doesn't know what it wants to set active. So we would put box, that's what we want to turn on and off. And if we set that to false, because it's within the start function, so it runs once at the beginning of the game. So set active false. When we press play, it will disappear. So this particular object here, all it's done is this tick box up here is it's turned that off. So if we watch this box again, when we press play, it's turned it off. Now the object is still in the game. Very important, which means we can always turn it back on again. The other one I want to have a look at is called destroy. Now that command wishes to know what we want to destroy. So the parameters that are inside here, what do you want to destroy? So at the start we're going to destroy this game object we've dragged in called box. So if we press play on that and have a look what happens with that, the same thing happens, it disappears, but you'll notice up here in the hierarchy it's now completely gone. It has destroyed it. If you watch again, I'll highlight it. Press play, it's actually destroyed it out of the game. I can't bring it back. So there's the difference between the two. Now also, this destroy command has an extra parameter. We can give it a number. Okay, so 3.0f, that is, the F stands for float. We'll have a look at floats later on, but that's basically 3 seconds is how long it's going to wait before it destroys it. So if we highlight it again and press play, 1, 2, 3, there we go. It's now destroyed it out of the game. So we've now got 2 commands that we can use. Now what we're going to do is show you how they work, but remembering our start and await functions from before. So if you put box, set active, true in the start function, and if we take this command and we do set active false in the awake function. Now when we press play, there we go, you might think nothing's happened. So what we're going to do is we're going to use debug.log to see exactly what's happened. So debug.log, and in here we're going to put activate box. I'm going to copy that, and in here I'm going to put deactivate box. There we go. So what that does is it shows us what's happening. Debug Dialogue is brilliant for when your scripts aren't working or you're trying to work stuff out. So I press play. Although it looks like nothing's happened, it's deactivated the box and then activated the box. So you won't see it because it'll happen at exactly the same time, but nothing's happened. However, if we turn this script off and press play, if you remember, it will run, there we go, the awake function and deactivate the box. And then if we turn the script on, it will then run the start function and activate the box. Because we didn't destroy it and it was always there, we can turn it off and on again. So, little recap. Writing variables, public or private, the type of variable that you want, and then give it a name. End it with a semicolon. The 2 little bits of code for getting rid of objects that we learned was set active, where you put the name of the object and then dot, so it's called appending, we append the command after it, dot set active, and then the parameters go in between the brackets and it's either true or false, and we end with a semicolon. The other command that we looked at was destroy. There we go, destroy, and the parameters it wanted was the object that we wanted to destroy, and we didn't have to add a time, but if we don't want it to destroy it instantly, it's comma to denote another parameter, and then we did 3 seconds. So it destroyed after 3 seconds. Okay.